Crime Stoppers. Rania sends her regrets. She's out of town. And also joined this morning by Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. But I am very honored and quite frankly moved to be joined this morning by Frank and Jasmine, who are the parents of Ashanti. Quite frankly, to be here this morning, I can't say enough for the two of you, and you're in my prayers. And then also joined by grandparents, Elaine Grant Williams, and also Wesley Casara, a grandfather, and then his wife Cynthia Casara, and then by one of Ashanti's aunt, Natasha Grant, is also present. Let me just start off by asking this city to pray for this entire family. I cannot even imagine what they are going through, but we are certainly asking the city to pray for this entire family. And we want them to know that we know the past several days have been heartbreaking on so many different levels. And that while Ashanti is in the hospital and she's fighting boldly, and we want to pray for her in a very, very special way. The entire city is praying for her recovery, and I want each one of them to know, these parents in particular, to know that the people in this city, we are all praying for Ashanti. We've all seen photos of Ashanti from before the shooting. We know this is a beautiful young girl, 9 years old. Smile just radiates. And we've heard her classmates speak about her. So we know this is a beautiful young girl, and we want and asking this entire city to continue to lift her up, and quite frankly lift up the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, and everyone who are providing excellent care for her. And we're asking for and hoping and praying for a full recovery. Her young life has been altered forever by a cowardly act, and I underscore that, by someone, a criminal driving our streets and freeways thinking he or she is above the law, and quite frankly, acting with a callous disregard for human life. We wanted to hold this press conference to keep the spotlight on what transpired on our roads in our city, and we know that someone knows, people know, who committed this act. To the person who's responsible, my advice would be to turn yourself in, because we're not going to stop until we find you. To the persons who know who committed this act and is holding back on that information, I'm going to ask you to rethink and put yourselves in the shoes of these parents and these family members, and imagine you standing up here with us. So I'm asking, and we are asking anyone with any information on the person who committed this heinous act on February the 8th between 9 and 10 p.m. Started at 59 and Beltway, heading northbound on the 59 freeway. If you have any information, please provide that information such that we can bring this person to justice. And so we are asking you to do that. Earlier this month, I released One Safe Houston, a comprehensive plan to drive down crime in Houston using a holistic approach. Part of that plan includes working with business leaders and Crime Stoppers of Houston to increase the reward amount for anonymous information leading to the charging and arrest of any felony suspect. A gun was used in this heinous act committed against Ashanti, and today we are announcing an increased award of $30,000 for information leading to the charging and/or arrest of any felony suspect. And I want to thank Crime Stoppers. I want to thank people in our business community and others who are contributing to provide additional reward dollars to come to find the suspect, the persons responsible for this incident. Someone knows who the shooter is, and I encourage that someone to pick up the phone and call Crime Stoppers Houston with the information police need to make an arrest and charge the shooter. We are not going to just walk away from this incident. We want to hold this press conference to keep the spotlight there and for people to recognize that, especially when things happen to our babies, when things happen to our kids, we will go the extra step, go the extra mile to find you, because we are talking about our children. We have already added, One Safe Houston, already added 125 police officers to our street. That is already taking place. The Safe Roadway Initiative, which started back in July of 2021, remains in place, and we'll take additional steps to beef that up. And I am now asking HPD, Houston Public Works, Transit Star, now to look at cameras that will video record traffic on our streets and roadway, such that we can go back and replay them, especially when criminal acts are occurring. That would be a change. But it is important that we augment our boots on the ground with the use of technology. And so now I'm asking all of these groups to look at cameras to video record moving traffic on our streets and roadways throughout the city of Houston. 9-year-old Ashanti is an innocent child who was struck by a bullet. Ashanti should be in school with her teachers and classmates and returning to her family. Instead, she remains in a hospital fighting to recover. If that doesn't move people in this city, if that doesn't move folk who have a tendency to be on our roads and firing guns and injuring, and in some cases killing other persons, I don't know what will. If that doesn't move someone who has information to provide information on what happened to Ashanti now, I don't know what will. But in the meantime, this city shall continue to lift her up in prayer. We'll continue to pray for her and ask God to heal her body and give her a full recovery. Now let me pause to Chief Troy Feller.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, and thank everybody for being here. We sometimes miss out on the human element, and I talk about it. But this family, I want to thank them for standing with us. Mayor, thank you for your support. Congresswoman, thank you for being here. And thank you, Crime Stoppers, Ms. Kristoff, for being here as well. This family, nobody knows the backstories, the tragedies that they have had to deal with even before this incident. We know it. So, look, I just want to thank them for being here and standing strong with us, a very spiritual family. And ask that the city, and the mayor said it, but I'm going to say it again, please pray for Ashanti. And I'm going to refer to her as Princess, because that's what she is. She's precious. It's one of our kids. And I had a script, but Mayor covered that. But the most important thing is that we all come together. Even the streets have rules. Even the streets. And I'm from the streets. I'm from this city, and we stood here before, and we called for the actions of every citizen. And I don't care what your background is. Somebody knows something, and we have to stand up, because if we allow this to go on in our city, it'll continue. And we batting about 1,000, if not 1,000, when you put your hands on our kids in this city. We're going to get you in custody, but we need some information. That night, 9 p.m., Tuesday, suspect was described by the father. the vehicle this truck, a suspect, a Hispanic male, 20 to 30 years old, possibly a female passenger, in a white GMC Denali pickup truck, similar to this truck what we have pictured. After cutting it off several times, shot at the vehicle, striking our little princess. She's in critical condition, fighting for her life. But the most important thing, I want us all to stand up, and a message to the suspect or suspects. Best thing you need to do is turn yourself in, because every resource that we have, and all our law enforcement partners, just as I said before, we're going to come after you and get you in custody. I want to thank our Major Assaults Division. They have been working extremely hard to try to uncover some information, but at this time, we need more information. Do it because it's the right thing to do. I want to thank Tillman Fertitta for pledging $25,000 additional. I want to thank Crime Stoppers for what you do for us and law enforcement and the citizens every day for your rewards. Remember, you will remain anonymous. You called Crime Stoppers, and let's get some information in. Let's get this individual or these individuals behind some bars where they belong. So I thank you, and we'll entertain some questions. I want to get Congresswoman up here, and then Ms. Christoph from Crime Stoppers, and Assistant Chief Garcia will get you to translate after the questions in Spanish.
First of all, let me pronounce this family a loving and innocent family. They are tragically an example, as the mayor said, of people in this community who carry on their life and raise their children. Loving and innocent family. I want to applaud the mayor for his new crime reduction program, which is being reviewed in Washington as a succinct and pointed and effective way that cities can work to make their citizens safer. I chair the Judiciary Committee's Crime Committee, and our commitment is to work with mayors of major cities to ensure that they have all the resources that they need to speak to these loving families. To Frank and Jasmine, you are not walking this tragic time in your life alone. To the grandparents and uncles, to this loving family, you're not going to be alone. So I want to follow the mayor's call and just say that this city is safer because of Crime Stoppers. But it can be even safer if everyone renames themselves to neighbor. We've always considered Houstonians our neighbors. We will not bring down crime just by the hard nuts and bolts of any kind of funding or any kind of plan. We'll bring it down when our law enforcement, Houston Police Department, of which I express appreciation, gets the help from each and every one of you. Right now, 2021 had 749 children injured by guns. We haven't even gotten into the first quarter, and 82 children across the nation have been injured by gun violence. Ashanti, innocent, princess, loved by everyone. A smile comes to my face. And as a mother, let me simply say, if you're anywhere, don't think about protecting the perpetrator, my friend, my relative, someone I know. Think about this family and the pain they are going through, and the pain, as the chief has said, that they have gone through with other loved ones. And so I'm here to, one, say to the mayor, an appreciation for this massive effort, but also to stand with you for the needs that we can help supplement from the federal government and working together. But lastly, do you want these numbers of gun violence against children to keep going up? Do you want to let those who use guns against innocent children and innocent families, let me be very clear, innocent families, loving families, your family, then you will come forward and provide the Houston Police Department that is intensely, deeply investigating this. Again, our appreciation. You will come forward with the answers. My thank you to those who've contributed to Crime Stoppers, as we all intend to do, because our children are precious. They are special. They need to live. They need to enjoy life, and they need to be saved. And that's what we intend to do. Thank you, Mayor.
Nicole.
I'm stuck. This always happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. There's not much that I can add that hasn't been said, but I will reiterate. Crime Stoppers of Houston has 30,000 reasons why somebody should call and report what they know about the suspect that did this. $30,000 to an individual or individuals that have information about the coward that shot this young girl horrifically for no reason at all. If you have a soul, you would call. But if you're driven by money, we've got it. 713-222-TIPS, 713-222-8477, our mobile app, crime-stoppers.org, and our website. All forms are anonymous. If you call Crime Stoppers with that information, you will remain anonymous, and you could receive up to $30,000 for doing the right thing. We implore you to do that. Thank you very much.
Now, Larry.
Just answer any questions. Just
Any comments you want? Okay. Any comments you want to make?
so our family is crushed right now. What happened to Ashanti? She didn't deserve this. What really crushed me is I found out that my niece was sitting in the back watching cartoon as this happened. If you know anything, please step forward and say something. Our family was already grieving from the previous month from family death, and we have to, like my mom said, we had to put that to the side and focus on this right now. So we just want someone to please bless our family and please step forward and so we can give justice to Ashanti. She deserved it.
Thanks, Larry. All right, we'll take any questions that anyone may have.
Mayor, the family, Mayor, can you go a little bit more to the importance of utilizing the corporate relationship as well as the public relationship, specifically with TxDOT, Metro, to have more cameras on our highways?
You know, earlier, years ago, there was an agreement made, even as it relates to TransStar, that we wouldn't use our technology to video record for various reasons, civil reasons, people filing lawsuits and civil cases. But times have changed. Times have changed. And when you start dealing with the increasing road rage that's taking place on our streets, the technology is readily available. And in the One Safe Houston proposed plan that was put forth, we talked about utilizing technology to augment our boots on the ground. We have roughly 5,200, 5,300 police officers, but they're trying to cover 640 square miles. So as we increase that number, even with the use of overtime, we still need to utilize technology to augment. And when you're dealing with road rage, what would have been helpful would be to have these cameras to video record the traffic such that you can go back and replay. We know where it took place. Let's say started at 59 in the Beltway heading north bound on Southwest Freeway. We could have gone to the recordings and zoomed in and that would have been helpful. And so now I am asking HPD, TransStar, Houston Public Works, and others to now look at utilize HITS. Talk with them this morning to utilize technology where we're using cameras to video record the travel on our streets for purposes of when there's a road shooting like what happened here, for criminal activity, not for civil litigation, but for where criminal acts occurred. And Chief, you want to add to that?
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, the mayor and I have been in talks for several weeks now, and I've reached out to some of our corporate leaders, and just as you said, Mario, it has to be a partnership. So many people asking, how can they assist us? And everybody need to step up and understand that technology, positioned in the right place and used the right way, is a force multiplier, and we simply need it. And some of those individuals are saying, well, hey, it's too much surveillance or what. This is a different time, and nobody's going to use that surveillance equipment to violate anybody's rights. So we need to get our minds right for it, but it's something that we really need to do. And you're going to see over the next few weeks, we're going to be organizing it at some point. I want everybody to stand in a press conference. The mayor's agreed to it, and we need to move it. It's just something that we have to do. Next question.
Chief, could you explain what the rules are right now so the cameras are there but they're not recording?
I don't want to speak for TxDOT. TransStar, I meant to say, but I understand that there's no recording of it. Okay, so that's, and I'm not pointing fingers at them. Okay, this is something that we need to do as a team. Everybody needs to step up and make sure, and not only on freeways, in businesses, intersections. And we're a first-class city, and we're going to move in that direction with the support of our elected officials and also our leaders for corporations. So it's a direction that we need to move into.
Chief, have y'all been able to talk at all to any direct witnesses? Has anybody called in who saw anything at all?
Not that I'm aware of. We're hoping that after the day, I understand that we may have had a few calls that came in, but normally when we do these press conferences, I meant to say, it flows in, and that's what we want. Because if somebody thought they saw something but didn't call in, or you thought you saw something, I meant to say, call in. Get us that information, because I guarantee you that's a well-traveled location. At a little bit after 9 p.m., there's a lot of people on that road. Somebody saw something, okay? But there's always somebody closer to this cowardly suspect. Always somebody close. He's talking, or they're talking. And that's where we need them to step up. And like she said, if you're motivated by the money, it's there. But everybody should be motivated by doing the right thing.
Chief, you didn't touch on this with regards to the passenger, but what potential criminality does the passenger face?
I don't want to step. Yeah. Right. There is an offense, but I don't want to talk to that because I don't know. I don't know the details, and all I know right now, somebody shot from that vehicle, and that's who I'm interested in bringing them into custody and holding them accountable, so this family can have some sense of peace in this very, very tragic incident.
Can you go over what actually happened before the shooting? I don't know if any of the family will speak to that, or if that's from you. But just
Yeah.
what happened?
We just don't have all the details. Just he said the young lady, our princess, was looking at some cartoons, and that speaks to it. But who prepares for somebody to shoot into their vehicle? And this is the stuff that's happening on our roads. We're not going to tolerate it. The mayor has funded us, and people are going to come together even more. Thank you. Go ahead.
We heard that there was some racing going on prior to this, and do we have any description maybe of the other vehicle that was involved?
Not at this time. Yeah, not at this time. And I want to be specific on that. Until we get that and verify that, I think sometimes we do more harm than we do good when we just speculate. I don't want to do that right now. Go ahead.
I know.
I'll get you.
We've
want to say anything as to how she's doing today?
No.
'Cause that's
No,
a bigger concern.
no, they're standing strong, but you imagine the pain, and I want to be respectful of that. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my first question was, how is her status in the hospital? I know that she's in critical condition, but if you guys aren't going.
Yeah, she's strong, and that's what the family is saying, and she's fighting. And I just want us to all to continue to pray.
My follow-up was clarification on the reward. Is it 30,000 collectively with the 25,000 that?
Yes.
Donated?
30,000. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Chief, if
I'll
if
get
you
I'll
look
come
at
back
the
to it.
cameras, and you keep talking about the cameras, there's a lot of politics behind all of this. These things are not only discussed at this level, they are discussed in Washington, they are discussed at the level of the state. Those cameras are there, and they are not operating because somebody in this city, in this state, voted that they should not be operating. And we cannot just get up one morning and say that we are going to get them up when the people have not, repealed or voted again that the
Well,
cameras
I tell you what, and the mayor might want to respond, but let me tell you something. The heart of this city and doing the right thing at the right time, I never question that. We got a sophisticated city, and I'm gonna tell you, I expect that everybody's gonna move in the right direction. But Mayor, you want to?
Yeah. Let me just say, some time ago, a decision was made with all the different partners at TransStar not to video record. What happens at TransStar is that you see the traffic in real time. So you can see where the traffic is congested, or even as it relates to heavy rainfall, flooding, you can see it in real time. You can see where the bayous are raising, all of that. But the decision was made not to video record for various reasons. You didn't want to get bogged down in civil litigation and all of that. But at this point in time, for public safety reasons, especially as it relates to road rage and criminal activity, I am now of the mindset that we need to utilize the technology to video record, to have that footage available, such that when a road rage incident occurs, we can go back to that footage. And quite frankly, serves two reasons. It serves as deterrence for people to know that the technology is being used, so it serves as serves deterrence. And number two, if somebody should commit a heinous crime by pulling out their gun and firing, then we can go back and then augment our investigation through the utilization of this footage. So it's just timely, it's needed, it's for public safety purposes, to deter and then to resolve these crimes. And quite frankly, the only people that need to be concerned about it are those who are more inclined to pull their guns and fire. Okay?
My follow-up is, actually, are you actually saying that at the level of TransStar and your office, you can actually turn those cameras off?
It is my belief that we can institute the policy where we can video record, and that's what I'm strongly advocating through the use of technology consistent with our One Safe strategy program.
You have the powers while you advocating. You have the powers to turn them on while you advocating.
No, it's a little bit more difficult, more complicated than that.
We don't want to get ahead of our meetings with
Yeah.
key leaders. So
Yeah.
you got one, and then we're gonna do two more. Okay, want to be respectful of the family. Go ahead.
I'm trying to
Yes.
just select all
Okay.
of the points that are being made. I've heard public safety, I've heard dangers on the road, I've heard $30,000 money talks, I've heard a 9-year-old doesn't deserve this. But beyond that, we're all just trying to find reasons to have the public really step up and help. I think it's the fact that this person's still on the road and we could be next. In talking with the Grant family last week, they said the thing that people say when we cover road rage, which is, I see it on the news, I never think it's gonna happen to me. So beyond your push, which I hope you can give right now, which is this shooter's a danger to all of us, is still, how dangerous are Houston roads right now unless these people are caught?
It's just as any other thing. I don't want people to think, look, that the sky is falling in Houston. It's not. We got a lot of great partners, great law enforcement, but we live in a dangerous society all over the nation. I do want to say this, because we hadn't brought this up. What can you do? And I'm not blaming anybody. I don't think they did anything. Sometimes you can just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But other instances, you can be a part of that problem. Don't meet aggression with aggression. If you got somebody out there on the road that's being stupid and violent, give them their space. Try to get whatever description you can. Get it to the police, call us in, and let us handle it. And again, I'm not blaming anybody here, okay? One over there, yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
Just to close out the loop with the cameras,
sorry.
what would it take for the city to actually?
Could you say that again? I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, sure. Just to close up the portion about the cameras, what would it take for the city to actually start recording?
I don't, I think the mayor has explained that, but I think there's got to be some high-level meetings.
What was that?
And what is it going to take, Mayor, to get it, yeah.
To do what?
Yeah,
Turn the
get the
cameras
cameras on where they can
video.
record, yeah.
But it starts with the mayor telling them now we need to go to video recording. That's the first step. And then just this morning, HITS, the Director Lisa Kent over our IT department, is now working with Houston Public Works, and they are now talking to TransStar, and then we're going to partner with HPD and other law enforcement entities to all get on the same page. This is a public safety issue, and we need to augment police. I mean, even with the task forces in place, even adding 125 additional police officers on our roads and streets, technology is needed to provide us with more eyes, so to speak, on the roadway. So if the technology is available, it's readily available, we need to use it. Because quite frankly, I would tell you why. Enough with this foolishness, okay? Enough with this. Enough, we keep saying road rage, until people know that they are going to be caught and punished for what they are doing and that we are putting in deterrence features, then it's going to continue. So enough with this foolishness. And then to the response to your questions and to your comments, this is our kid. Okay? Frank and Jasmine is their daughter. But this is our kids. And until we get to the point where we don't say that child, we have to start saying our child. This is our kid. This is our 9-year-old. And we have an obligation to protect our children. And these are our babies. And hell, if you're not mad, you ought to be mad. And so I'm at the point, if turning on that camera and videoing in real time and where we can go back and see you, we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to do that. But these are our children, and this foolishness has to stop. Now, with regards to Ashanti, Princess, our situation is improving. Okay? Our situation is improving, but she's not there yet. And so what we can collectively do is pray for her. Pray for her. Okay? And pray for those doctors and the staff and the nurses who are taking good care of her. And then on top of that, pray for this family. Okay? Pray for this family. And in due time, maybe they're in position to talk. But I think, none of us is in their shoes. And they've had their own losses, sicknesses that they've had to put on the shelf, okay, because of this situation. No parent, no family member should have to be going through this situation. No child should be in a hospital because some stupid person decided to fire a gun, okay? No one. And no person deserves protection from another family member, from a passenger, from a friend, from a neighbor, anywhere, whether in the city, whether this person is living in our city, in our county, or outside. No person deserves that type of protection. And so I think that'll do it for today. But thank you all so very much, Chief. Thank you all. And to the family members, thank you. Special thanks to all of you. Okay? Larry Grant. Larry Grant. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll bring up our, come on, Chief. Just just let it transfer. Thanks for being here, Chief Pena. I didn't see you walk in. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let it transfer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Y'all don't have to stand. Y'all wanna go back?